Namaskar. Every child has to obey their parents, or they would be given to them, said one of the elderly neighbors to the kids who were playing in the chawl that we once lived in. Them, I would often wonder, who are they? As kids, we would only know a girl and a boy, a woman and a man, the gender binaries. But the question in my mind about them, who we lately know as transgenders, remain unanswered for years. The preconditioning of my mind about the members of the transgender umbrella by the elders and most around led to fear, hatred, ignorance, and various other negative feelings towards them and their existence. Most of us can recall similar experiences which resulted from the preconditioning of our minds with notions and fears associated with the members of the transgender community. When I was surviving in the closet, one Diwali evening, I was traveling in the Mumbai local train. I saw a person who draped a sari clapping loudly. The person was a member of the transgender community who could often clap and let the society know that they exist and that they deserved acceptance, equal rights, and equal opportunities too. As soon as I realized that the person was approaching me while doing their mangti, an act of extending hands for support, a thought struck to my mind. My father would often tell me as a kid, offer food to the needy and let them sleep with a filled stomach. So I offered an apple to the person who looked at me and said, I don't need anything from you. Just some love and a smile is enough. These words hit me hard, and it was an eye-opening moment for me. I was ashamed of my act of ignorance towards a fellow human being who deserved the same love, respect, and equality as much as any human did. I decided to unlearn the myths told by my elders about the transgenders and then learn the facts. Saya is a young transgender woman who does mangti in the Mumbai local train. She would often wait to see me on the train, as I could carry a jar of snacks to share with her friends and her. Each time the jar opened, there was a smile of joy and excitement on her face. It was food that connected us. Before she could leave, she would hug me, and it was a sign of gratitude for treating her better. I was pursuing my research degree, and I was going through a rough phase. I decided to come out of the closet and free myself from the cage that I was trapped in, mainly because of the social pressure. My brother Paritosh, who is 10 years younger to me, hugged me with assurance and said, you live the way you want to, and I will be there with you. While my mother went into the closet as she was afraid of the society, my family stood by me as strongest allies. I was disowned by a lot of people, friends, colleagues, relatives, etc., for wearing my true identity on my sleeves, for just being me. My relatives would tell me not to visit their homes, as the onlookers would raise their eyebrows and inquire about me. Friends and acquaintances would not take photographs with me, and even if they did, I would be asked to refrain from sharing on the social media. Colleagues at workplace would misgender me and call me by my dead name, which might not have made a difference to them, but did take me back to the phase where I lived a life only to please everyone around, but was suffocated by the identity, which made me uncomfortable. There were times when people were ashamed of me. I was hurt, demoralized, and upset. But eventually, I learned from all these experiences and realized that I need to evolve from all the experiences. I decided to free myself from all the unwanted chains which kept me away from my true self. I realized that there was no point in doing things and achieving things if I wasn't at peace with myself in the first place. I began to liberate myself by accepting and acknowledging the members of the gender non-binary spectrum who faced similar experiences as I did. So we organized a small Haldi Kumkum turmeric vermilion event, which is usually celebrated by married women for their husband's well-being. However, we invited members of the queer community, both closeted or out of the closet, men who were often excluded from these events, women of all kinds, folks from different caste, creed, color, race, religion, etc. Basically, it was an open event to make an all-inclusive and a safe, happy space for every human being. We welcomed everyone at our home. We performed the traditional rituals, gave gifts, snacks, clicked pictures, danced, and sang together. There was so much love and happiness. Every guest felt accepted. I was in the early transition days, and one evening I went to a mall with my well-wishers. I had to use the restroom, so very hesitantly I tried sharing it with them. I was afraid to enter in either of the gender binaries' restroom. Considering this situation and the stigma connected to it, my friend Rupam somehow convinced me to follow him to the cubicle while he stood outside to protect me from any undesirable experience. I was so moved by his actions. I felt so much better and confident with his gesture. It gave me the strength to face the world with pride and confidence. He truly set a wonderful example of a good ally, and all this by being human. Doing what humans are supposed to do is sufficient to leave a positive impact on anyone around. It is that simple. Yes, I am one of the privileged 4% transgenders in India who lived with their families. I do not belong to any socio-cultural sub-communities of the transgender umbrella. Despite of the privileges, the challenges faced by all of us from the community are common. Often the members of the transgender community are told to find a job and earn for their living. We fail to understand the social construct created by the society when the transgender community is pushed on the periphery rather than including us in the mainstream. This had an impact on my life too. My job opportunities were taken away for me on the grounds of my gender identity, while every organization I visited for an interview would give me some experience that would contribute to the chapters of discrimination. Until Lakshmi Iyer decided to involve me and other queer folks as volunteering teachers at a government school where she was teaching in collaboration with an NGO. We were grateful for having an opportunity. We were passionate about our work and we gave the best to our students. Although our children loved us, the school authorities were uncomfortable. We were asked to discontinue our services, and it was difficult for us to move on, but I did. Amidst of all this, I came across some wonderful folks who became strong allies to me. the list of their names would be long, but their work, their action has been highly commendable. Some would invite me home for lunch. Some would involve me in their family gatherings, weddings, etc. Few would provide me support or just offer a listening ear in times of difficult situations. Some would even take me to shopping. Some embraced the true version of myself wholeheartedly. And all of these little things contributed majorly to my life and made a huge difference to create a memorable journey. It was at the end of the year. My friends from Rajasthan visited Mumbai for the first time. We were at Mumbai's Chhatrapati Shivaji terminus, admiring the beautiful buildings. As any tourist would want to capture some beautiful photographs, my friends were capturing some memories too. Suddenly, few young men gathered around us. They started mocking and catcalling us. My friends were feeling uncomfortable. So I stood out of the crowd and screamed aloud to stop the bullies. Immediately the cops gathered to our rescue, while the bullies ran away with fear. There are such times when I have to become an ally to protect my queer folks and ensure their safety while I'm around. While there were many such experiences, I continued working towards creating awareness and sensitizing our society towards alternative gender identities and sexual orientations. During those visits to many schools, colleges, organizations, events, I got an opportunity to interact with students, employees, and many others who belong to different age groups. I would share my stories and discuss several topics that each one of us would learn with an open mind. Few elderly folks would hug me and cry for failing to understand their fellow human beings who would be queer. One of the most common questions I was asked was how they could contribute at an individual level to the betterment of the transgender community. And I would love to share my response I usually have to that question, which is applicable to all the human beings. Number one, value each life, no matter what the opposite person looks or how they behave like. Number two, connect, interact, and learn the facts. Get rid of the preconceived notions. Help and empower each other to grow in every aspect of life. Above all, be humane, perhaps the most difficult virtue to have these days. 3 simple suggestions which could also include the transgender community in the mainstream society. And while we do so, this world will surely become a better place for every human being to live, because every living being deserves to be treated with kindness and acceptance. Thank you.